out, but what can you do? So, you're lucky because this podcast is going to be layered. Mm, I am not going to sit in the sun either. So, until then, you're stuck like this with me. But yeah, frequency and amplitude. If you haven't come from our past podcasts, here's the gist of it. We were talking about how much you should really be posting your IP and how frequent you should. And the same exact thing is with energy. And the real demonstrator of this is a simple spring. Is it bent out of shape? Yes. Is it wobbly, wibbly, wobbly, wibbly, wobbly? Yes. Do we care? Absolutely not. Now, you observe a string, you put in a little bit of energy. Is it moving? Not really. Now put in a lot. You see what happens? It starts to get in resonance, but after it starts spiraling out in each and every freaking direction that it goes. Which is why when you do it at this freaking amplitude, you're able to get a constant up and down force. Now, yes, you're gonna have it to where it's gonna spiral out sometimes, but if you manage your energy correctly, I can guarantee you'll be able to get that up and down motion. Now, frequency, you do it too little, too frequent. You do it not frequently enough, it's barely moving. Do it too frequently, can't even process it. But if you do it at the right frequency, it's able to go up and down. And that's basically how that's basically how sound waves work. That's basically how oscillations work. That's basically how anything in life works. You do too much of it, guess what? It's gonna spiral out of control. You do too little of it, you're gonna want more to achieve the effect that you want. And that's really the gist. But no, let's come back to this. That's what I want to talk with y'all today about. How no matter if it's oscillations, vibrations, sound waves, or just anything else in life, if you put too much into something, it will not work. If you do it too little, it will not work. If you do it too frequently, it will not work. If you do it not frequently enough, it will not work. Now let's pause. I see some visitors coming in here. Straw Hat Pirate, you know it. And hello. Now back into it. If you do it too frequently, it will not work. If you do it not frequently enough, it will not work. It is only when you have that perfect midsection, no matter if you do it slightly above or slightly below, that is when it will still work the way that it is intended. You see it so many times with people. You do something, oh, oh God, I don't, we gotta talk about relationships. My kryptonite, but not really, but still. If you talk to your partner too little, they'll feel like you don't care. Talk to them too much, they're gonna get annoyed. You need that freaking midsection. Into which, while yes, sometimes you're gonna talk too much some days, sometimes you're gonna talk too little other days. But as long as you maintain that central range, that is when you will maintain the longevity of that relationship. Even if you do everything right, even if she or he or they them leave, you did everything right on your end to make sure that you maintained it as long as you could. And that's the issue with energy things. So many people, really, really, the kicker is money. So many people want to make as much money as they possibly can, to the point where they're overexerting themselves. They're doing so much, they're doing so much, they're doing so much. And then you have certain people that are doing too little to try to achieve the same results. And while, yes, they may get exactly what they want, the one that isn't doing enough isn't getting the amount they should. And this one is doing way too much to the point where they got it, but it feels like it's not worth it because they put in so much work when the easier path could have been something else. It is not when you get up and do something, but you don't overexert yourself. There's nothing with working or striving to go for a goal that you want. It is only when you do too little or you do too much, that's when it's not worth it anymore. That's why you have to aim for that mid section. Sometimes you're gonna do a little bit more, sometimes you're gonna do a little bit less. And it's the same way with freaking consistency. Something that I gotta learn myself. Because if y'all know, I do create a lot of content. And you do get annoyed. I know y'all get annoyed because I create so much of it. And I didn't realize that from a content creator, really from a viewer standpoint, into which I was like, not everybody want to see me every single day. You feel what I'm saying? Like, even if you freaking vibe with me, you don't want to see me every single freaking day. But at the same time, there are a few days where you actually do want to see me, but I don't show up. So there are days where, no, as a content creator, you shouldn't show up too few to the point where people are just like, okay, he's just a guy on the internet that just shows up time to time. But you shouldn't show up so frequently to the point where people are like, oh my God, he's showing up again. But show up just enough to where people realize, like, oh, he's on. Let me go see what he got going on. You feel what I'm saying? Even, and here's another thing, even if you were to go on live for 5 minutes and then just get off and do that every single day, 7 days straight, 24/7. I wouldn't even say 24/7. Even if you were to do that 5 minute live, 7 days straight per week, you constantly do that. You just constantly get on live. People see that. And while, yes, not everybody's going to tune in, everybody at least know, like, he ain't going to be on for long. Let me see what he got going. And so that's the amount of frequency that you should be posting your content. And again, not even again, but just hear me when I say this. Don't always listen to what people say on the internet. Some people say all you got to do is just plan, post your strategy, this, that, and the third. Other people are just like, get that content out, post more, post more, post more. And they put y'all in standstills where it's like, what do I do? Should I post more or should I plan? And my question to you is, what do you believe that you should do? What's easier for you to do? Is it easier for you to post a lot of content, or is it easier for you to just post it once a week, once a month? And if that's the case, then you cater to that experience. Because it's not about how many times people are going to see you. At the end of the day, it's about the rate at which you're able to produce content because of your amount of love for it. Meaning, if a person is willing to go live 3 times a day, that means they love it. But they also know that they're going to annoy a bunch of people with it. And if they still do it, then they're still doing it because they love it. At the same time, don't be surprised and shocked when you see people that aren't doing too much, and that aren't doing too little, but are doing the right amount. Even though sometimes they may do a little bit more and sometimes they may do a little bit less, they will always reach that equilibrium. And to sum this all up, back into energy. Whenever you exercise, some people do way too little, to the point where they don't even feel no strain on their muscles. Some people do way too much to the point where their whole body is sore for the day. The right amount of exercise you should do is the amount where you feel some strain, you feel some resistance, but not to the point where it hurts. You feel it, but it doesn't hurt. When it gets to that point where it hurts, that is when you stop. It's the same way with working a job. It's the same way with striving for a career. It's the same way with a relationship. You do too much, or you do too little, or you do too frequently, or you do something not enough, it will not work. And that's just how our freaking universe works. That's how every single particle that oscillates work. You think you think that something like this, if you put as much energy into it as you possibly can, is gonna keep going up and down? No, it's gonna go is this anyway. But when you do it the right amount, it's gonna be going this route. And you dirty-minded sons of mothers, you better not. If I look at that comment section, but out of all seriousness, If you do it at the right amount, you're gonna get this every single time. Sometimes it's gonna spiral out of control, like you're seeing, but it'll always come back to that up and down. You feel what I'm saying? And again, if I look at that comment section, but out of all seriousness, don't do too much, don't do too little, don't do too frequently, don't do not frequently enough. Do the amount that's perfect. Even though sometimes you're gonna do way more, sometimes you're gonna do way less. Just strive for perfection. And if you don't know what perfection is for you, just look at your natural state of being and how you are constantly every single day and just be like, what's easy for me every single day, no matter if I do too much this day or too little this day. Have that be your base. Everybody's base is gonna be different. Sometimes a person can go on for lives like 2 to 3 hours per day. Others can only just do like 1 to 2 to 3 minutes a week. But that's your frequency. You don't operate on everybody else's frequency. You operate on your own frequency. And when you're operating on your own frequency, you're not competing. You're not trying to see what everybody else has got going on. You're not trying to see how everybody else is doing it. You're doing it on your time. Because your time is the one that makes you feel good. It's the one that gets you the best results. It's the one that always, and I do mean always, gets the most out of your energy. Because when you do it on everybody else's frequency, that's when it messes up. But when you do it on your frequency, that's where everything boosts. Even if you're talking to yourself and you're at 0, the fact that you're showing up on your frequency, no matter what, people will notice that. People will see that. People will hear what you got to say. And that is all that I'm trying to say. Aim for perfection. Don't try to be a perfectionist, but try to aim for that middle section. Sometimes you're going to do more. Sometimes you're going to do less. And that is okay. As long as you aim for that middle section, you're perfect. That's it. Which is probably what Yeshua was trying to say, to be like him. Like, I wouldn't even say be like him, but every day, let's strive to be a better person. Sometimes we're going to be too good of a person. Other times we're going to be some dickhead. Kids, I'm sorry. Sometimes we're going to be some a-holes. At the end of the day, we maintain that perfection of being a good person. That's all I got to say for today. And as always, stay peaceful, blessed, a miracle up, and know that you will appreciate what taken care of by the divine and one above all our highest source, God, as well as everyone that truly and genuinely and deeply cares about you deeper than the souls. Always remember that here you are loved. We care about you here if no one else does. We do. I do know that no matter what, we are always here to give you that listening ear. Don't be afraid to talk to us. Don't be afraid to talk with us. We're here for you when you need us. Have the courage to talk with us. We're here for you. We're here for you. Okay? Now come in for this hug. Yeah, come in. And, because I couldn't do this in the previous live, the freaking comment check. Chili Colds balance is always the answer. Yes, absolutely. Let's see, Ray Lafer. Hi, Ghost the Chipmunk. Hello, from the unknown. And I already said Straw Hat Pirate. Yeehaw. And as always, I should be said adios.